Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to Echo. We finally got the OG Pro Tag back. But we don't get to play as the OG Pro Tag.
No, he is.
Anymore?
No, you play from Flynn's route.
Oh, that's
For the rest of it?
Yeah.
Man, that's so much reading for me.
Yeah, that's what I told you.
You did tell me that there was going to be a lot of it.
I didn't tell you were playing as Flynn the entire time.
No, you
I
did.
just said, Flynn has a lot of dialogue. You're going to be reading more than me this time.
Fucking Flynn, Carl, Daxton,
Yeah.
and Leo.
Yeah.
And Flynn's doing most of the... Well, I guess I understand how you feel now.
Yeah, but I don't care. I have to read all the dialogue in the other games.
That's true.
Having to juggle like 8 voices, and I'm like, man, this probably sounds like shit.
I told you I was willing to do Socially Awkward, but you were so excited.
Yeah, I wanted to see how horny Jace was. Damn, he horny. That's a horny ass cat.
Instant.
There's a choice at the very beginning of the game where you're like,
Yeah.
Jace is like, oh, I'm imagining, and you get a choice, and it says like what you were dreaming about, and your choices are food and dicks. And
So
I'm like, tone
naturally,
established.
naturally, you pick dicks.
I
right?
chose food.
Of course.
I would do the same thing.
Darian, I don't just constantly think about dicks.
I'm sorry. Sometimes you just want to, like, you know.
Well, you don't think about food that much either. So.
Yeah, so they're both bad choices.
They're
Yeah, they are for you.
they're both bad choices for me.
I don't just imagine either all the time. Like, that's not...
Missing out
I don't think I am.
on which one? I'll never tell.
Both?
We exit City Hall and are instantly greeted by a slew of faces.
Slew. Whoa.
Oh, there's the bat.
Yeah, there's the bat.
Is that a boy? Or is
Yeah,
that
his name's Mitcha.
Micah? Mitcha?
I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. I always say Mitcha.
I think that might be Micah.
Is it
I think it's a way to say Micah, but my friend Micah hates this spelling because
So it is a different spelling of Micah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a load of fresh shit, you know that? What do you mean when you say we can't leave?
I mean, that's 2 more voices for you. Let's go.
God damn it.
Oh, who's back?
Yeah, this is
he's-
his one scene.
Yeah, he's not really a character in this route. He just is a person that lives in the
Not
town.
nearly
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah, so
No.
in Leo's route, if you remember, he said that he went to a meeting at City Hall,
Which is this.
this scene, because Chase was not here.
He was currently
He was in someone's basement.
indisposed.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So you actually get to see this
So
scene.
is Micah in Jenna's route or TJ's route?
He's in Jenna's route.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very fashionable. I could see it.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be gathered around the front entrance, the headlights from half a dozen cars lighting us up as we exit. Most eyes are on Auntie. The air has a sort of smoky tinge to it, like someone's cooking something. I wonder if it's from the fire I saw earlier.
It's Echo on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Hell yeah, it is.
Oop, and
Y'all come here, Y'all came here because you wanted answers. Now, are you gonna listen to them or not?
I recognize most of the people in the crowd. Janice, Duke, Kudzu, Micah,
Duke
Heather,
is
Mark.
here.
Oh no. And shit about a dozen more. Some of them look downright terrified. Others, like Micah, the klepto shithead from Tetanus Alley, looks pissed, agitated by whatever the hell Auntie is saying. I can see Duke, the old widower who lives next to Leo, somewhere back by his car. He's not looking at my aunt anymore. He's fixated on Chase with this sort of 1,000-yard stare. From the back of the crowd, I see the lumbering figure of Leo.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, he's got his undies on.
Yeah, it's true. He's covering up the.
looks like shit.
He does though. At sight of us, he pushes his way through. Chase. Leo stops, rubbing the back of his neck and looking off to the side as he notes the otter's state of undress. Ooh, look at that slash! Bam. You're back and naked. Chase has this weird sort of look on his face, like he's never seen Leo before in his life. Like this is some incredibly awkward encounter with a stranger.
Well, he knows that it's his friend.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Not the man that you have loved and lost.
Yeah. Black Widow bit me.
And that made you naked?
Yes.
Leo turns, looking to me suspiciously. Fuck you. I didn't do it. God, I have no time for this shit anymore. Leo's brow furrows. I keep expecting him to jolt out his arm and slug me, but he just looks tired and confused.
I sat in a nest of a whole bunch of them, and they got everywhere.
That's awful. Are you all right? Leo brings his large paw up to Chase's shoulder. Chase flinches, and the wolf quickly releases his grasp, giving the otter a quizzical look.
I'm okay. Well, not really, but you know.
He rubs the bite area on his neck, biting his cheek as he stares at the gravel between his feet. I don't know, Chase. We need to get you to a doctor. But I have to ask, why'd you run off earlier?
I didn't mean to. I just did.
Chase, that doesn't make any sense, yeah? Auntie begins to speak up again.
Let's talk plain like. Most of y'all are seeing things, bad things. And some folks around here have started acting real strange, more so than the usual suspects on their bouts with the happy juice. And nobody's getting any tower or satellite signal for phones and internet. Truly a nightmare. Landlines fuzzy too.
Disconnected. A couple of people nod. Micah's now looking over his shoulder, seemingly unfocused on what Auntie's saying.
Mark tried to head off to Peyton to see if the county office knew what was going on.
Oh no, Mark's gonna fucking die.
He got about as far as the Flint turnoff before he found himself on the old Route 65 heading back into town. He tells me he tried 3 times to get through, no luck.
Oh, so the beast didn't actually get him.
No. Now, I would have slapped him on the head with a roll of newspapers and told him to take this clowning to the circus. If I hadn't heard the same sort of thing from my grandpa decades ago. Folks traveling in buggies, trying to escape the madness of this town. But they got, snared?
Snared.
Mm-hmm. Snared in one hella web. If y'all have been thinking your dreams have been getting real queer like as of late, you ain't alone. It's getting worse. Honestly, I was packing my bags to get out before it hit.
Oh my god. I wasn't ready to leave. I remember telling Auntie I wanted to stay for Carl's interview, but I wanted to see if I could also get to the bottom of shit with TJ too.
So, you're saying there's no way out? That we're in? What? An inescapable bubble?
Just wait until the sun comes up.
Sweetheart, it's like the tide. It goes in, it's pulled out. And sometimes it pulls stuff with it. My grandpa, God rest his soul, told me it was attracted to the uncouthness of man, the ires and desires with which we cannot unshackle ourselves.
You're speaking so cryptic.
Simple sin.
Okay.
There
we go. No sex. That's basically it. It
But
doesn't
in a-
even have to be gay sex.
But
just
in a
regular
world
sex.
of only gays, you can't stop the sex.
A mournful look crosses her face, and she takes a deep breath.
Mark.
She looks over to the horned toad, our town's treasurer. He's standing by his black 4-door SUV. Do we see his portrait? I always made fun of him for buying it. Black cars in the desert ain't a good mix unless you're keen on baking. He reaches into the car and pulls out a lumpy something wrapped in a flamboyantly colored beach towel. I recognize the faded logo in the corner as one of the Southwestern Adventures. An old souvenir, maybe. Mark herks as he steps in front of the mayor with it, setting it on the ground. First thing I see are feet sticking out of the end. Someone in the back, Heather, I think, screams. Is it Duke? Or not Duke, Clint? It's a banshee-like wail as Mark pulls back the fabric. No!
No! Keith!
Oh, Keith!
It's not Keith.
It's not Keith. At first, it's difficult to tell exactly what I'm looking at, but after a few moments, I can see clearly who it is. Is it Clint? Oh, I bet it's Clint. Oh.
Oh my.
Damn! Homie got wrecked. His eyes got cut.
Yeah. He's in that new portrait for Route 65.
Oh! So
He was the boar in that scene.
Gotcha!
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just a guy from the town. That's Salem.
Keith!
Why is she calling him Keith?
Okay, so Heather is a bit of a druggie.
Ah, yeah, that's right. I think we knew that.
She's not all there.
Yeah.
Also, Keith is also missing though.
Ah, I see.
And Keith is the son of the bus driver.
Yep, Keith.
Yeah.
Not Janice. Shit.
Karen.
Karen. Yeah,
Yeah.
Karen's son,
Who doesn't actually act like a Karen.
which is great.
Jesus. No.
TJ begins to sob, his terrified sniffles mixing with Heather's confused, shrill cries. The boar is covered in lacerations, most of which are on his face. 2 swipes of whatever cut him seem to have torn his eyes and part of his snout. I always thought when someone had their eyes taken out, it'd just be black holes inside, but it's pink. It's like I'm looking into the guy's brain. I feel like I'm gonna hurl. What happened to him?
He tried to leave.
Yeah, but how did that happen? The raccoon, who up to this point I've never seen as anything but the strong, silent type, looks shaken up bad. He clutches his forehead with a paw, shaking his head.
I think it's really funny that we get that single line of dialogue, and it's like, oh, so that's how Flynn sees kudzu. Like, that's kind of
Strong,
fun.
silent type, yeah. God, for a second he looked like somebody else. I barely know Salem. He's a recent move-in who originally squatted on vacant land in an RV until the landowner started making him pay to live there. He kept to himself, never even said 2 words to the guy. That's an accomplishment when you're stuck in the town with just about 50 people still living here.
Mark tells me that the 3rd time he tried to leave, he saw him just laying there on the side of the road next to his RV. Dead as a doorknob. So, to answer your question, Coon Boy, I don't know. These things always end, but there's no clear definition of when or how. I advise as I do to all trying types, to turn to the higher powers, pray and repent as you may.
There's a shocked silence from those present. Daxton keeps shaking his head. Jenna tries her phone again. Micah stares off into the dark in the direction of the highway. I know how to make the vision stop. And there he is.
Do you now,
it's a
Dookie
Duke.
boy?
The weasel steps up to Auntie, though he's not looking at her.
Yeah? What's your proposal, Duke?
He points a pink finger towards Chase.
Murder the otter!
We stop him. Chase sort of half blinks, his bloodshot eyes aimed all unfocused like at that scruffy weasel. What? I can't discern who that voice came from. You were born, Chase.
Chase hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't been alive for the past 10 years.
That's true. This has all happened before. He looks toward Auntie, who nods inquisitively. And it's only going to get worse. It happened to my granddaddy, my daddy. Now it's happening to me. Well, me and the rest of yous. Dale's missing. Cynthia drove off into the desert. Clint and Jeremy are running around shooting and screaming at nothing. Thing is, we've all got something after us. Something bad. Won't let you leave when it starts. What's after you? The raspy voiced bat chimes
My
up.
ex-wife.
Yeehaw, my ex-wife. The raspy voiced bat chimes up, still looking off into the desert, away from the crowd. Duke's quiet for a moment, rolling a handmade cigarette between his thumb and index finger. It's always triggered by something. Duke begins to pace, still pointing at Chase. I seen you here last week, before all the rest of your little friends showed up. Late at night, outside his house. He nods in Leo's direction, the wolf clasping Chase's shoulder protectively. Just standing there. For hours and hours. I didn't even need to be asleep to see you. That last line rings strange. Duke's saying it as if it makes perfect sense. I didn't even need to be asleep to see you.
So he doesn't need to dream it. It's in reality.
It's in real life. But he was seeing it in his dream.
as well.
So I guess like when things really start ramping up, it starts getting into
take
everyone's
physical
dreams.
form,
And then they start it's almost like a premonition.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, and that's like kind of creepy to think about, that like Shadow Chase is just like, he's just there.
He's just, yo, what up? He says, what's up? What you doing? Chase's gaze shifts to his feet, his legs beginning to tremble. Hey, I'm not saying you did it, or that you were wanting this all to happen. He steps over Salem's body, approaching the otter. It's just that you gotta know something. Anything that we can use to stop this. Because anytime I ask big old Leo here, he just got this glazed look in his eyes, telling me where I can stick my inquiries.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, someone told me that you would know. It's at this point I see the black metallic shape sticking out of the back of the weasel's trousers. He's got a gun. Daxton flinches, seeing it too. Oh shit. He mutters, and I feel Carl step closer against me.
Who?
Someone I know. So,
Who is it?
Brian,
Probably Brian.
clearly.
Yeah.
He yells, leaning in closer to Chase. Leo steps completely in front of him, ears down with his fangs bared. It makes sense. Something bad happens, and if you don't fix it, it won't stop coming after you. Maybe for you. Leo's snarl turns into a tight, tepid frown. He looks unnerved, uneasy with Duke and what he's saying. This is all real timely with your friends showing up. So what happened, Chase?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Auntie exchanges a glance with Mark. Then they both look to Chase, seemingly unconcerned that Duke is packing. Things are getting worse out here, and unless we do something, we're all going to end up like young Salem. Duke's voice is dead and distant.
He's right.
Auntie's voice cuts through the air like a knife. The next thing I know, her and Mark are stepping up beside Duke.
Flynn, come here.
My heart lurches at hearing my name called, and I strain myself to keep a straight face. I try not to look at the body as I walk up, feeling my backside illuminated by a dozen headlights and the gaze of the crowd.
You locked Chase in the reading room with all them spiders. Why? You what?
Oops. Didn't know about the spiders at the time. I mumble.
Flynn.
She looks away for a moment. Yo! Oh my god, no. Holy fuck, what should I choose? Oh no. Which one should I choose?
Choose to fuck him. That'll be funny. Right in front of everyone.
Right in front of everyone.
Look, he already has his pants off.
The secret fourth option. Bone down. Make a display for everyone. Maybe everyone will join in. Big town orgy. Pretty sure he killed Sydney. Oh my god.
I don't think anyone here knows who Sydney is.
I don't know. I mean, he was in the town.
Yeah, but he was also like a child.
I mean,
So I doubt that Duke
so
cares.
was everyone else.
So I don't think that Duke cares. Kudzu wasn't there. Heather Pro doesn't even know who she is.
Fair enough. Heather doesn't even know she's on the ground.
Micah, he's
He's there.
He's an interesting fella. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I clutch my head, the blood in my veins feeling cold. It's as if the gravel beneath my feet is turning to quicksand. My mouth moves as if to say more, but I manage to bite my tongue. This just makes the pain worse. What the fuck is happening? I can see Jenna covering her face with both paws, seemingly in disbelief this is really happening. There's a few murmurs from the gathering. Micah looks back at us, seemingly distracted from whatever was in the desert that he was staring at.
You're talking about your little friend who drowned in the lake a decade ago.
Yeah. Wow, kid. He clicks his tongue, shaking his head at the bedraggled-looking otter. That's fucked up. Chase starts to look like TJ again, as if on the urge of breaking down into sobs. He seems to be alternating from angry, sad, and confused over and over again. This ain't right how you're handling this, yeah? Duke, Flynn, Mayor Lady, you really need to fuck off. We'll handle this. I don't reckon I believe that. Sid died like 10 years ago. This doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, this sort of murder happened before. My grandpappy lived through the whole thing and stayed in the town after.
Yeah, that's right. It happened weeks after the body was found.
Auntie rubs her thumb through her floral scarf, staring into the headlights of one of the old Jeeps.
Some guy named like Jack that no one liked.
Yep. No one liked
The
him.
one in the mine. The air got all electric and fuzzy. Folks went out of their heads.
She's never talked about any of this before.
You didn't ask.
How do you know that?
Brett grabbed about it, bagged, is that bad?
Gabbed.
Gabbed, yeah. About it a lot when you were a youngin', and even before you were born.
Dad.
The whole superstition was part of his justification for making, like a library and booking it. Oh, okay. Well, that and one other reason.
I tried to ignore the last comment, still focusing on the increasingly tense stare down between Leo, Chase, and Duke. I had heard Mom and Dad hated Echo, mainly the usual grumblings about godlessness. Any ailments they had were surely the fucking results of some latent sin.
Point is,
The ground beneath our feet is a tainted soil, rotten, shaky loam. Duke interrupts, but Auntie doesn't seem to mind. She's just frowning now, looking to the crowd of people. Her scarf's come undone due to all the fidgeting, and the old scars she had beneath are visible, tattered scales replaced with pink flesh. It's more rotten in some places. Y'all know the ones. My grandpappy thought that because they didn't catch the murderer, it planted some seeds in the bad dirt. But that ain't true. Duke rubs a scab along his forehead, squeezing his cigarette so hard that the ash starts pouring out of the other side like toothpaste. They caught him all right. Then everything was okay for a while after they found him and he was killed. What the fuck does this have to do with Sydney? Duke continues, ignoring me.
good.
Ugh. Sorry. I got phlegm.
Just swallow it.
Yuck. So I don't know what it is. If it's a murder or guilt or not catching someone that did wrong. I shake my head. I can't believe this shit. Sid's not fucking haunting the town, you meth-addled cunt. But he's probably haunting you, though. What if it's Sydney inside Flynn, and he was like, hey, Chase killed me.
You don't think that Sydney would latch on to Chase?
I mean, he probably would. Probably latch onto his murderer. I had to guess.
Yeah.
But it started when you got here. So you gotta forgive me for wondering if one of you did something bad. He was a fucking 9-year-old and brought that guilt back to this poisoned land to grow the seeds again. Duke doesn't sound like himself at all. Not even his recently crazed self. Still, though I don't want to admit it, I start to have an idea of what Duke might be getting at. How this all fits in our history. And judging from the look on the gathered crowd's faces, the feeling appears mutual. There's murmured inquiries about what to do. Heather is still quietly sobbing, asking a group of people who ignore her why no one is helping Keith. Genevieve Sanders, a retired mail carrier from Peyton, mentioned something about a lynching. Jenna's arms are crossed tight, her expression this sort of furrowed, indignant stare that slowly falters to upset confusion. TJ's next to her, one paw on her arm. I can barely hear him, but he keeps saying he's sorry over and over. Leo begins to tug at Chase, pulling him back in the direction of the van. The two begin to hurriedly walk before Auntie speaks up.
Stop.
I always had this niggling desire, this idea of getting justice for what happened. Sid deserved as much, but now I can't say I'm feeling any catharsis or joy. This is just this hollow rumbling from my insides that this ain't right. This can't be how we fix shit. Carl has his head down now, the ram acting small despite his burly proportions. I just want to move beside him, tuck him under my arm, and fuck off far away from here.
Get back over here.
Leo shakes his head. We're not sticking around for your shitty speeches. We're leaving. Chasing's a doctor. Come on, guys. He makes a beckoning motion to us. Jenna quickly shoves her phone into her purse, the Fennec visibly trying not to look at the body as she, TJ, Carl, and Dax head to the van. Just as I start to join them, I hear a clicking noise to my side. Whoa! Homie popped off. The horrible noise is deafening. I clutch the sides of my head and crouch down. A brass shell casing falls and hits my leg. It's hot. Duke's pointing his pistol into the air. Our group stops in their tracks, TJ falling to the ground and covering his face. Heather is shrieking, screaming over and over again. Then suddenly she stops. There's some flailing of movement from the group that was standing near her, like the dancing you see at raves. When I look again, I can't see her anymore. Mike is gone too. Him and a few others scattered. I can faintly see that the bat's silhouette is in the distance, sprinting into the desert. What the fuck, Duke? I screamed at the weasel. Needed to get their attention for the mayor, yeah? That's no fucking excuse. That shot could come back down and kill somebody. Duke clutches his pistol limply in his grasp, seemingly uncaring of whether he's pointing a loaded weapon as he twirls his wrist about. It's a bit late for that now. Folk have been hurt already. And they'll continue to get hurt till we stop this. I hear shouts of agreement from the remaining crowd. Auntie just nods, and I can't help but give her a dumbfounded look. I clutch my repeater close.
Spiders. Spiders got him. That's right, Flynn.
She points to Chase. Yeah, he sat in a nest of them.
Duke.
She holds up a finger, fast walking back into the office without another word. Duke watches our group by the van. Everyone's quiet. His pistol is aimed up at the sky. After a minute, she returns with a piece of faded paper clutched in her hands. There's some old-timey writing on both sides of it. She holds it up to Mark and Duke. Mark uses his cell phone as a light as they begin to read, Duke lowering his gun. I can see Jenna moving by the edges of the fan. She's moving towards me, then Duke. She's motioning toward me, then Duke. What does she want me to do? Disarm him? One quick chop of the wrist, then do it, I guess. I'd have to drop my repeater, though. I don't really want to risk that, at least not yet. Surprisingly, Chase speaks up.
What's it say? Boy, I think you know what it says. You were rooting through our stuff and plucking all of these records Thursday. That was a lifetime ago. James Hendricks' notice of death.
Carl visibly stiffens.
Guess what killed him? Spiders.
Ooh. I step up, squinting at the paper. It's a notice of death, all right, for a reference in an estate transfer. It's for a James Hendricks, who passed away in 1913. The cause of his death is listed as poison/infection, Theraphosidae tarantula. Tarantula. Chase shifts uncomfortably. Chase's ass got planted on some black widows. And what does Carl's great old whatever have to do with this?
James Hendricks the First was a notorious sodomite, like Chase.
I sigh. What? You say he was looking at this the other day? He was working on a school project. Hell, that's why he's here. So he claimed.
You sure about that?
Auntie seems to pry at my own niggling doubt. I look back at the pathetic-looking otter.
He's not pathetic.
He looks at me. And then Dax steps up. Hey, He stops just short of the body on the ground. Daxton straightens his posture, folding his hands behind his back. Mr. Duke, I think you're making a lot of really interesting headway into how we can solve all this. You know, much better than just hiding in our houses from rampant chaos and the like. But Salem here, he uneasily gestures toward the corpse on the towel, the boar's hollow eye sockets still staring at the stars above. Whatever got him, I think stopping/avoiding that should be priority number one. Because, I mean, I've only known Chase about half a week, but he doesn't seem like the sort to be capable of all of this. Kid, I've known Chase all my life, and I'd reckon something similar. But at the end of the day, Chase didn't do this. It's what Chase did that did this. This town needs justice. Hell, that little Sydney kid needs justice. I'm gonna save all y'all. And make it so she leaves me alone once and for all. Who leaves you alone? Duke doesn't respond, instead raising his pistol. I can't tell who he's aiming at, his paw shaky. I need to do something. Jesus fuck. Yo, no! What a way to go.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I guess we're doing nothing.
I guess Flynn is doing
all.
fucking nothing.
For real. What a dude. I stand there, and I can see Jenna beside the van looking at me pleadingly. Auntie's peering at me now, a strange look on her face. This isn't right. I should do something. My head is killing me. Something's wrong. And at the worst possible fucking time. I grip my teeth, concentrating on what's really happening. Duke says something I can't quite make out, and Daxton stammers back a retort. I've had visions of Chase too, but nothing that points toward that as a conclusion. Leo slides Chase behind him, the wolf's ears pinned to the side of his head. This is a weird. Okay, so it's either trust
Daxton's
Daxton
going to
to diffuse this situation, or raise the repeater.
Yes.
I feel like raising the repeater is a bad choice.
What makes you that? You could go pop, 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 and then Duke will just drop to the ground.
Or he'll just fire when Flynn motions to shoot. This is like this is like a junction point, just like in Leo's route when fucking Brian gets the pop on you.
Yeah.
And you die. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna trust Daxton.
Okay.
Sid's dad flashes in my mind.
Okay.
The hole in his head, the look in his eyes. I keep my rifle clutched across my chest, pointed downward. Dax. Yeah? He's staring wide-eyed at the gun in Duke's grasp, his blue hands in the air. You gonna elaborate? Oh, yeah. Hi. Dax does this sort of awkward wave before slowly lowering his hands. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I just don't think this is right. Perhaps we can perceive the guilt of others at times in these sorts of waking visions. You mention you see her. I don't presume to be knowing who her is, but it all sounds like you've got some baggage too. You're testing me something fierce. Move, kid. Daxton flinches, and I gingerly take a few steps closer to the weasel. We, needn't put all of that out in the open with the details. I'm just saying. To assume this is all caused by Chase here is perhaps overstating Chase's importance. And killing somebody, or even just letting them die, might just be fueling the madness at hand. In my dreams, the ones with Chase in them, nothing's pointing towards some deep otherworldly call that he needs to perish. Even you, Miss Mayor, you can see the logic in that. Auntie stands with her hands on her hips, lips pursed. Blech. And what counters madness? Logic. Daxton smiles uneasily. Shoot them both! Wow. What a dick! Someone in the crowd yells. I step over and smack Duke's wrist, the gun falling to the gravel beneath. You're dooming us, kid, and your friend's gonna get away with murder. I scoff. The fuck he will. Now shut up. We're leaving. Daxton blinks, letting out a relieved sigh. Thanks, Flynn. I grunt in response. Auntie moves over beside me, resting her hand on my shoulder.
Flynn, you can't make this decision for everyone. Let's put Chase onto a pole and shoot him to death. There's something wrong with you.
I can't believe you entertained this fucking meth head's proposal. I used to think you were a good person, you know? But fuck that. Witch trials it is. I spit on the ground. Auntie lowers her hands and begins to fidget with her scarf, her gaze shifting downcast.
Used to think us Moors were immune to all this sordid business. But I don't think you are. Not anymore. Be careful, Flynn.
She turns, walking back toward Mark, who is busy rewrapping Salem's body and bringing him inside. It's rare to see her look so uneasy. Trying to run a shit town like Echo, you get a thick skin for shit crumbling around you, but nothing like this. Leo quickly helps Chase into the van, and the rest of the gang follows. Damn, we did it. We didn't fucking die. I made a good choice. Oh! Wow.
What?
Yo.
What are you freaking out about, Darren?
Yo.
Also,
What?
I think we'll cut it there.
I think so. Why was he there? That was a literal you blink and you miss it. That was spooky.
I missed it.
Oh, okay.
Just give me a second. We'll give it a sec. Oh my god. Man, shit was about to pop off though.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Fucking hell.
Look, Saturday is exciting.
Saturday is real fucking
in
exciting.
every route.
That's... Sheesh. Man, that was real tense. But I'm glad that I made the right decision. Because, you know, I'm not trying to fail every route immediately. You know what I'm saying?
What, you mean you don't like the bad ending in Leo's route?
I mean, it's really funny. The multiple bad endings.
I asked to have a route in which Chase and Leo are together for the rest of Chase's life, and I got it.
And you got it. It wasn't long, but it was the rest of his
It
life.
was the rest of his life.
All right. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how this
We're on
wraps
Sunday
up.
now. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Long Saturday.
Long Saturday, but it was a good one.
It really was.
Oh man.
Love this route. But anyway, see you around, everyone.